Hey everybody, it's Ed here from krista&ed.com, and I wanted to talk to you today about something that's got a bad rep. It's a bit of a grind, it's something that's not a lot of fun, but there are a lot of businesses that end up doing it, and I think that there's some do's and don'ts, or even just mind frame, and what I wanted to talk about is door-to-door sales. So I have to tell you, when I was in high school, one summer I didn't have a job. I got a job at a vacuum cleaning sales position. I lasted like 3 days. I was like, this is terrible. It was such a grind to go out and door knock. But the one thing I did learn from that, even though I wasn't there that long, just from the training and everything, was that it's all in the numbers. The more people that you connect with, and I think that's like everything, whether you're email broadcasting or whether you're doing some type of digital marketing and you're displaying ads to people and serving it up, the more repetition, the more connections that you get out there, the more likely you are to get leads and sales. So I wanted to talk about door-to-door sales because it's something that, typically a medium-sized business or a small business, they do that. They have to. They'll do advertising if they have budget, but if you don't, going out and dropping off business cards is not a bad thing, And I think it has a bad rap. It's like you're knocking on doors. So I wanted to share my thoughts about door-to-door because, in fact, I think I'm a pretty good door-to-door guy. Like going out there, pressing flesh, going through the door, knocking on the door, saying hi, and see, these are my top tips for door knocking, if that helps. So I think tip number one would be you never assume who the decision maker is. I don't know how many times people have come in that are sales guys that would come into our offices and they say, where's the manager or where's the owner? And they've immediately alienated the person at the front, who could be the office manager or the receptionist or administrator. They have a lot of power. They tend to, make a lot of decisions. In fact, they know how to take a sheet of paper and file it in G as well. So I was always very respectful of people that are at the front of the door, or the doorkeeper or the gatekeeper. Some people call them gatekeepers. But if I met an administration person, I would say, hey, how you doing? What's your name? My name is Edward. And then I would ask, are you the one that makes this decision, or is it somebody else? So it's opening that door to say, hey, we're respectful of your position, and that that you're integral to this organization, and you might make that decision. So I usually would ask them, I say, so are you the person that normally makes the decision around this service, or is there someone else I could talk to? And then what I've also found, I don't know if it's a Canadian thing, I don't think it is, it's like a North American thing, but if you go and say, hey, can you help me with something? Almost everybody will say, absolutely. There is the odd person that goes, get out. But most people will say, if you're just asking them for help. So you come walking in and you're like, hi, my name's Edward Langer. I'm here to offer this service. Are you the person that typically handles this? Or is there someone else? Do you think you could help me with who I would normally touch base with? And they'll usually give you the name. So my approach to door knocking wasn't to sell something when I'm there, because that's cold traffic. You need to warm the traffic up. You need to, or have, warm traffic, hot traffic. Door knocking is cold traffic. So getting the contact person's business card to me was always the goal. It wasn't to go in and try to do a full-on presentation. And I'll tell you, there were many times where the owner of that business or the manager was there and they're like, yeah, come on in. Oh yeah, you want a coffee? Sure. And then you're doing a presentation and you were not planning to do a presentation at all, or maybe you were, but I never anticipated that. My whole goal for door knocking was to acquire data, acquire who that person is, their email address, their information, so that I could create a funnel and outflow to them and connect with them. And what happens is like planting seeds. You just keep planting the seeds, you water the seeds, you plant the seeds, water the seeds, and then some of them grow, some don't, right? Some people want to kick you out or say not interested, and that's okay. But if you're on a limited budget and you don't have a lot of money to spend on advertising and you need to get business, a lot of times old school, door knocking with a business card and just going in and connecting with people so they get to meet you is a huge advantage. Tip number 2 would be getting the business card and getting the contact person. So tip number 1 being, connect with that gatekeeper and acknowledge them, or that person that's at the front door. The tip 2 again is getting the contact information or the business card for the person who does make the decision, right? And then goal number 3 is to write notes. And the person that you connected with at the front, if her name is Alice, or maybe it's Robert, whoever was at the front or whoever you talked to, I usually write their name down and the time and the date, and maybe even a little nuance like, they were wearing a red baseball hat, whatever it may be, just so that I could remember them. And then what I would do is I would put that person in my funnel. So if I spent a day door knocking, I could get 100 cards by just going out. And of course, I'm thinking of who I want to reach, the ideal business. So if it's you're wanting to reach plumbers or industrial, or maybe it's business professionals, whatever it may be, you could just knock on doors, drop off info, or maybe a one-page sell sheet or whatever it may be. But really what you're there for is the business card. And once you have that business card or that contact information, now you put them in a pipe. Tip number 4 would be that you email them. And when you email them, in the subject line, say, I was talking to Robert, or I was talking to Allison, whoever it may be, and said, I should reach out to you. So technically, you're kind of subverting through the whole cold lead to the warm lead. There's a warm connection there. Like you were talking to them, and a lot of times, just having them have the opportunity to glance at that, see the name, and know that there was a connection will give you the opportunity for them to read the email, and they're more likely to be warm to the idea of interacting with you. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And I guess the big tip at the end, number 5, is don't think of it as you're going in to sell. What you're going into is to acquire information. If you go in that frame of mind, then you're not having, a lot of people have the struggle of like going in and door knocking and the rejection. I don't go in that way. I don't go in there like I'm gonna sell. All I'm wanting is information. And if you go in and you knock on the door, or you walk in, because a lot of times you're not really knocking on the door, you're walking in, right? Because it's business to business. All you're doing is saying, hey, can you help me out? I'm just wondering who would be in charge of this area. And then you get that information, and now you put them in your pipe and you outflow to them. So a really low cost, easy way for you to start to grow your business. I know clients that I've had that are doing really well today, who started like that, literally posting their business card on message boards, like doing it old school. And sometimes old school, until you have the ability to grow and do other strategies, is a great way to go. And guess what? If you have the time and you offer a service, but you have bandwidth, then sometimes it's great to take that bandwidth of time, and instead of going to a Starbucks, or in Canada, Tim Hortons, I know it's hard, we're all like, as soon as we're like moths to a flame when we see the Tim Hortons coffee place, we're like, I gotta get coffee. Anyways, I digress. Is to take that time and use it purposely. So when I would go out, I'd always have like a one-page sell sheet or information about us, and I would literally give that in a business card to that person at the front. And really the ultimate goal is to get their information, and now I put them in an outflow of an email, and we can talk about that later, because there are strategies that you can apply to reaching out to people, sequences of emails, so that you're connecting with them and adding value, and warming them as an audience, so that you can ultimately do business with them and build a relationship with them. So thanks. Bye. Hi guys, thank you. Thank you so much for watching our video. Let us know what your thoughts are. Leave a comment. If you love the video and want to share the love, right? Any other business owners, entrepreneurs that you know, please share it out. That would be great. Please also subscribe. We have great content coming all the time and we'd love to share more. So thank you so much for watching.